The other part of the experiment that I want to do is to share with you the processes that I use for deconditioning, for coming back to living like a projector and not like a generator. So much of the world is, I mean, 70% of the world is built around generators and manifesting generators. So I think like 30%, 33% or something like that are generators, 34% are manifesting generators. These are people who have sustainable energy. So most of the world is operating with sustainable energy. As a projector for myself, a no motors projector, meaning that I don't have any motors defined. So I don't have that consistent energy. And even though I can use the energy that of those around me and take it, amplify it, that doesn't mean that it's sustainable. So Roy is a manifesting generator. He's a 3-5 manifesting generator. And he has all these parts that are energy based. He has his emotional center, he has the root, he has the will center, the sacral center. And that's all open for me. If you're not familiar with human design, like I said, I'm not going to do some deep teachings on it. If I share anything, it's sharing what I'm experimenting with my design, because I know my design and I know how I'm working through understanding that better. So I'm going to explain through that lens, not as far as teaching or anything like that, just sharing what I've learned. So I am a 5-1 self-projected projector. I only have the throat and the G defined. So for me, the only channel that I have is the 1333, which is the storytelling channel, which is what I want to start working on improving and kind of coming back home to. I have shut down my voice for so long and allowed others to speak over me or, cut my voice off completely. And what I've learned as learning about human design and learning about my design is that as a self-projected projector, I need to speak out for me to be able to determine whether something is right for me or not. Other authorities, other designs have different authorities. Roy is an emotional authority, so he has these visible ups and downs of, his emotions that help him to better understand whether something is right for him, if a path is right for him, or whether, talking to this person feels good or not, or whether an idea that he's interested in is the right thing for him. I need to speak it out. So this whole thing with YouTube and sharing what I'm going through is the perfect medium for me because I'm speaking it out. And even though there are other projectors out there that have, they have emotional authority, or they have sacral authority, or they have ego authority, or mental authority, I'm one of the few that has the spoken. So I need to speak this stuff out. As a 5-1, the line 1 in my profile means that I love to learn. I love to experiment. So part of what I'm going to be doing is learning new languages, learning more about myself. I'm going to share with you different processes that I use as I go through this. So what I've done in the past, and I didn't realize that I was actually deconditioning using EFT, using NLP, journaling, tons of journaling, these different processes that I use to be able to come back to myself, to come back to who I'm meant to be. So as I said before, the human design chart is like a map. It kind of gives you an idea of the lay of the land, but you can make a choice and you can decide where you want to go on that. So if you want to go to the Shadowlands, you can go to the Shadowlands. If you want to be in the blame, and life sucks, and nothing works out for me, and I have to wait for recognition, and I have to wait for the invitation, and I'm a projector and I don't have motors, so that means I can't do anything. I have to sit on the couch and do nothing. Then that's all, that's fine. Or you can go to, which is what I'm doing, go to, I want to learn more about my chart, learn more about different areas that I need to work on, because there are areas that are more inclined for all of us to be culturally, socially, familially, if that's even a word, conditioned and trained and taught that we have to work this particular way, or we have to act this particular way, or we need to show our emotions these particular ways. If you've been called overly dramatic and you have an open emotional center like I do, then you pick up on everybody's emotions and you're going to express them, because anything that's open in your chart, and my chart is almost entirely open except for 2 centers, all of those centers take in and amplify. So if Roy's having a rough day, I take in that emotion and I amplify it. He asks me something and he's got somebody on the phone that he's discussing something with, a customer or whatever, and he says something to me and I snap back because I know he's frustrated with this customer. I take that energy, I amplify it. So those kind of things are what I'm going to be experimenting with. I've already started doing that. I've started to notice the difference in energy, as far as like emotional energy, when I'm around Roy. And it really makes a difference now that I notice it. So one of the things with human design that I've noticed, especially when it comes to the emotions, is that when Roy gets upset, it's not that he's upset with me, but if I feel that that frustration, and then I take it and I amplify it. When I respond to him, I respond to him in a short, abrupt, and kind of rude way, because I do it without thinking, instead of taking a moment and not just responding, but actually, instead of reacting, I actually take a moment and I respond. It makes a difference. So these are the kinds of things that I'm going to be experimenting with. I'm going to share with you, when I do processes, how it went. And like I said, it doesn't always go pretty. There are sometimes when shit just doesn't work and I have to figure out another way to work through that, find another process to work through that emotion, or that thing that's holding me back, whatever it may be. So like I said, I'm continually experimenting.